Good evening. Welcome to Solution Seekers. My name is Kelly, of course. How's everybody living? It's the day after Christmas, December 26th, only 4 more days, and the New Year's will be here. New Year's Eve will be here, and I have to be at work, of course. But more than that, I really want to know, does anybody have a why? Um, it's my opinion that if you have a why or start developing a why, when life shows up at your doorstep, you already know what you're fighting for. You already know that this situation may be as difficult, maybe as troublesome, burdensome, and a host of other negative words that none of us really want to deal with. But at the end of the day, the issues is not going anywhere. Certain situations are just going to happen. There's nothing that we can possibly do about it except take the initiative to ask myself why. Why is this happening to me? That's the victim. That can be the victim mindset, or maybe a wonderment feeling. Like when something good happens to me, I kind of question it. When something bad happens to me, I kind of question it. It's just those gray areas or that indifferent area. That I used to always question. That. Well, let me rephrase that. I used to feel comfortable in those gray areas because that's where I used to always rest in that. Um, Today, it's either left or right, black or white. It's either going to do it, or you're not going to do it. You either make a decision about your life, or life makes a decision for you. But at the end of the day, can't a lot of our issues can't nobody do anything as far as solving the problem. So thus it becomes contingent upon us to find a solution for a given or set problem. I like to use a why for myself as a way of developing a reasoning on when the shit shows up. This is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for this reason. I'm doing it for this reason. For me, myself personally, everything that I do is add quality and value to my life. That may also mean that I'm also adding quality and value to the people that I come around. Like tonight, for instance, I got the opportunity to see some people who were struggling with drugs and alcohol. I was at a meeting and they only had a week. They took a week chip. And you know what? I was impressed because they showed up. They took the initiative to want to try to repair what they think or what they know was wrong in their lives. I'm a member of that group as well. I've always been a member, but I just didn't make the conscious decision to admit something. Today, I can freely admit just about any and everything because no matter what happens, I'm ready to deal with it to the best of my ability. I'm not always successful at it, but I'm thankful for it and I'm grateful for it because each day that I wake up and I get the ability to open my eyes in the morning, I'm not concerned. I'm also concerned with the waterworks. I got Wi-Fi. Don't we all love Wi-Fi? But more so, I get the ability to tackle whatever life presents to me on any given day. And lately, it's been a lot of health issues. Still dealing with pain, dealing with the requirements of going to work, or just, anything other than sitting there and feeling like a fucking victim. I had enough of that. I lived most of my life like that, and I choose not to do that anymore. It's easier said than done, but I know that for the change for me came about was the change wasn't really hard, but it was the fighting the resistance to the change that was very pivotal for me. Only because for decades I've been living a certain way. I got comfortable. With being in a toxic, dysfunctional relationship with myself because my thoughts, my actions, and my behaviors always worked against me. I didn't know why I was doing what I was doing. I was just doing them because I didn't want to feel anything. But whereas today bring it on. What do I got to lose? Why not me? I got to tell myself I love me today. That wasn't always the case. My why is contingent upon me being able to deal with life, deal with the challenges, deal with the hurdles, deal with interpersonal relationships, dealing with the work life, dealing with the driving life, dealing with everything that life has to offer. And not escape from it, not to go home and have a pity party as a result of life, because life is going to be life. You either tackle it or it tackles you. But my why allows me to just, why not me? I can think back to Eric Thomas was the first person I heard that was talking about the why. On purpose. What's the why? I mean, what does it mean to you? It means a whole lot to me because on a daily basis, man, I'm just being thrown with all kinds of shit, and I just don't know how the fuck to deal with it. But you know what? I'm doing the best that I possibly can for what the scraps that I've been given. And you know what? Up to now, and that's a lot of that is my faith. I believe in God. I put a lot of faith in God. God allows me to tackle when life shows up in my situation. I got to break God's anonymity and say, hey, you know what? Thank you for giving me the courage, the strength, and stamina to deal with any certain situations that might arise. I'm in constant pain right now, but I'm still going forward. I'm still trying to do to the best of my ability, trying to do everything that I'm supposed to do to be a responsible, upstanding citizen of the human race. Oh my gosh! But there comes a moment to where the grief, the anguish, the thinking, because I think most of our problems all resolves in our thinking about a certain situation. Too much thinking and not enough action only begets one person becoming a hostage for the given situation. Instead of just tackling it. I had some health issues. I couldn't walk. Then I got a couple days later when I was able to walk earlier this year. I got into a car accident, which meant that I screwed my back up, I screwed my neck up, and now I am unable to go do the things that I used to do a year this time last year. But you know what? Things are getting better. It held me hostage for weeks, and I didn't know how to get out of it. And you know what? At the end of the day, I was trying to do it all by myself. I had support from my friends and several of my close friends, my squad, as I like to call them. And but what can they do? There's nothing that they can possibly do for me. I wish you could pay my car note, but I didn't even have a car. But everything, you know what? It just takes time. It takes patience. It takes endurance. It takes stamina. It takes more so than that. Dealing with that emotional baggage, because that's what it all becomes. And then at one point I just stopped. I just stopped being a victim, my own victim, because like I said, you can put a gun to your head and it's like nobody move or the victim gets it, and that's how I've been for such a long time. But today, looking at a certain situation, I can kind of reflect back on it now and see that, man, maybe that was needed. Maybe that was a good lesson, because when things are going good, I get kind of nervous. When things are going bad, I kind of like it like that. I kind of like it nitty gritty, because when things get bad, it allows me to see what I'm capable of doing, because you don't know how much you're able to take or manage until it's pushed on you. And to the best of our abilities, man, as long as I have the ability to wake up the next morning, how bad can it possibly be? Because just think if you think I'm having a bad day, you just think if I didn't have another one. And I've been in some very bad situations by my thoughts, my actions, and my behaviors, always placed me though. But I got comfortable in that. But there was no consequences. I really didn't care about the consequences. Today, I really care about the consequences that I get today. I want the consequences to be all positive consequences. As far as they don't involve the judicial system, LAPD, LA County Sheriff's Department, no parts of incarceration. But more than that, I don't want things to affect me in my spirit like they once did, because I was dead inside, and it was completely by choice. I wanted it. I didn't know no better. I kind of wanted to do better, but once again, those that I associated with didn't have a why. They didn't have a reason. They were just existing. And existence is no place to live for anybody. Animals don't even exist. Animals thrive. You know, all they need is a little care, understanding, a little food, and somebody to pet them, and they're content. Why is it that human beings are so freaking difficult that we have to have all this external trappings in order for us to feel validated? And my why is not based upon anything but building and enlarging all of my inside attributes or intrinsic matters. Anything outside of me is just a tool. The phone's a tool, the car's a tool, a TV is a tool, PlayStation, Modern Warfare is a tool. That's coping mechanism. Um, I could find a host of other things to try to work on internally as opposed to, just always dressing the part. Because I know that as long as I have, it's like this. For me, in my experience, I found out everything that I've attained materialistic wise was taken from me. But I was dead inside. So today, as I'm trying to evolve as a human being, and I like to think that those intrinsic matters are the most important things, because those are the things that can never be taken away from me, but I can gladly give them away if I don't practice them, if I don't manage them, if I don't build and try to enlarge them. They gather dust and they just wither away. It's just like anything. It's like a muscle. If you don't lose it, you're bound to get weak.